Why is my name?
Yeah.
Why his name? How is Babby formed? Why girl get pregnant?
Why
see.
Terry? Why
I
do?
don't know.
Should include all
Why
that.
Guitar Man?
Hello, I'm Jared. I play drums for Draemora.
Hi, I'm Max. I play guitar.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I do vocals.
Hi, I'm Terry, and I play guitar and sing vocals for Draemora. Try not to make it something that makes you seem interesting. You know, try to be honest.
I've been fortunate.
No girls are gonna watch this, so.
Darn.
Darn.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to be able to keep working during quarantine from home, which has been kind of nice, which has also allowed me to get more practice time in, which is what I'm also doing with my time.
Yeah, I've been trying to practice as much as I can too. Sleeping a lot more than I'd like to, and a lot of days seem to slip by, but trying to keep some structure helps, so.
I've taken up drinking and masturbation.
Just starting with the quarantine, right?
Right. In that order. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been productive.
Furious masturbation.
I've gotten a lot stronger.
You wear a mask. You wear a mask though, right?
It doesn't protect against coronavirus.
That-
It will keep the semen.
It's to protect others, not yourself.
That does sound hot.
Right.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I don't drink anymore or do drugs.
Congratulations.
Good for you, man.
But yeah, I've just been working on all the band stuff. I've pretty much been in a hole up in my fucking house, making all the videos and trying to make as much content as I have so that we can release all of the stuff we're trying to do, all the singles. We have a video, we have an album coming out, and someone's got to do it. So I like doing it, and I have a lot of time to do it now. So I'm not making any excuses. I'm just grinding away at it and trying to get everything done that I can get done, and get prepared for when all this stuff opens back up, so that we are very prepared for when this releases and we can go back out and play shows. So
Thanks for doing that.
you're welcome.
Well, I work in the live events industry in and around Seattle, and I know that with all the stuff going on, it's definitely killing off a lot of really cool events that would have been coming through town. So it's definitely affecting the events industry, both music, live performance of any kind. So it's a real bummer, but it's been real cool getting to see the change in direction more towards virtual events, which I've also been able to work in. So it's still cool being able to help put shows on when we can't get together.
Nice. So I was working in healthcare before, or I was working and then had to stop recently, but from like the get-go of this, I could kind of tell that things seemed like they weren't getting handled very properly, and it gave me kind of a bad feeling from the start. So far this shit's been handled a little strangely, but at least we're getting through it.
I've enjoyed the lack of traffic and the extra time I get to spend with my family.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been out in public quite a bit, safely, of course, but it is sort of strange. I did live sound for a bar here in Everett, and I did that quite a bit every week, and I didn't realize how much fun that is to do, for one, and then kind of that's where all my friends go all the time, and that's where I see everybody. It's how I network with everybody. All the new bands that come in, that's how I find out about them, really, so I don't know, it's been weird to have not met a bunch of new people in the past couple. I'm just always, trying to figure out what's going on in our fucking scene and stuff, and I've just been here. I try still, but there's a lot. It's like on the internet, it's like I think it's easier to get exhausted with just people pounding posts about them doing live streams at you than it was to like voluntarily get in your car, go to a show, and then sit there. At least if you didn't, like what you were doing, there was like another social option. You probably went there with a friend or something. You could go outside, you could hang out. If I don't like what's going on in a live stream within like the first like 30, 45 seconds or something like that, I'm just back to being bored again, and I just like, then I stopped giving so many of them a chance. I don't know, man. It's like, oh great, here's this again. There's a few bands that were really famous that did some of them though, and that was really, really cool. It's been well documented at this point. Awakening is an album. It's like a culmination of a period of time in my life that was very dark and really brutal for me, and I wasn't like necessarily going through that at the time of writing the album or any of the lyrics or anything, but when I went to go write something, it was the first thing that came to mind was, I had a really bad drug and alcohol problem. I had a lot of other mental issues going on, and I'd overcome a lot in a short amount of time, just, basically stopping all of the substance abuse. I did a lot, and then just kind of working on myself. So the whole album's pretty much about that. The lyrics are sometimes even pretty paper thin, I would say. It just kind of says, it's like an instruction manual on how to get better. Hopefully it can be viewed like that. I don't think that the albums that are after this that we make will be about drugs and alcohol again, but because I'm just not in that place anymore. I think I said everything I need to say, but it was a really cathartic thing for me. I really enjoyed doing it, and I hope that other people get to enjoy it as well. And that pretty much answers behind the lyrics as well.
Cool.
I would say that answers behind the lyrics. The same thing. The lyrics, like I said, that's what it's about. Mental health. So behind the cover art. So I drew the two silhouettes or statues a bunch of times, and I was trying to draw something that looked like some statues you would interact with, or maybe some statues that were over maybe a pathway in a video game I played. And I've played a lot of Dark Souls and a lot of Zelda and a lot of Elder Scrolls games, and they tend to have some really epic looking entrances to some of the places you'll go into to start the next sequence in the game. And since that was a large part of my life, it was the first thing I pulled from. Actually, the name Draemora is, from the Elder Scrolls. It's like a Daedric servant. So it's not meant to be about Elder Scrolls or anything like that, but it definitely was from there. And I figure since the people in this band all play a lot of video games, and a lot of the music and compositions in Awakening actually, were pretty inspired, especially like the beginning of Home, and a lot of the chord progressions were really closely inspired to like things I'd heard in video games, and maybe not like very consciously, but I can definitely tell when I listen to it that I'd chosen things based on maybe boss battles and big open fields you go into where the mood changes. I don't know how that might not be a thing for people who are like before our generation, but I feel like it's really hard for me not to credit the people who composed video game music as a total inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Because it's ingrained in me for playing video games for so long. I mean, those are just amazing compositions, and I would be a liar to say that wasn't a huge influence on me. So the cover art is really aligned with that. And I think it came out really, really close to what I first envisioned. I handed it off to a local artist here who is a friend of mine. Her name is Sarah Estrella, and I don't think she'd ever really done anything like that before. So, but I think she knocked it out of the park. She drew it all by hand, and I have the big hand-drawn piece up in my house, and really proud of it, and really proud of her for doing such a good job. It was really cool to work with someone who was a friend like that to get something like that done and see it all over the place now. So it's funny though, I can't get a hold of her for the last few months. I've been like, hey, look, your drawing is on here. So if you see this, Sarah, thank you. Proud of you.
Thank you. These days it doesn't seem to be as important. It can be beneficial in some ways. It can also be not beneficial in others. It's certainly proven to be more financially cost effective not to be part of one at this point in time. But we also maybe haven't had the opportunity to work with one. So we'll see how that interaction happens when the opportunity comes.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like we were saying earlier, kind of fills in a lot of spots, and it seems like it's not as important as it used to be. It does seem like it can get a lot more legwork done, but still, money seems to be the number one problem.
Yep. Not if you're good enough, but it probably helps.
I would say not if you're good enough, but I know lots of bands that benefited from having a record label, but I think you have to kind of already be at a certain level for that to be a thing. I don't know if it's a smart idea for someone who can't get a buzz about their band going without a record label to have a record label, because then it's sort of falsified buzz, in my opinion. Yeah, they can pay for you to have, likes, they can pay for you to have video views. I mean, I know people who I've listened to the song and I can tell you, I'm like, there's no fucking way that has 100,000 views or something like that. I know that someone paid for that. But, if you're using the mentality that if everyone else thinks that someone's going to a place, that they'll just join just to go there, or they'll just like it because they're in a mob of people, you can think about things in terms of that as well, because, I mean, they've been making fake applause in TV shows for since I can remember, and that's because people are too dumb to know when they're supposed to laugh. I mean, you have to tell people what to listen to, and you got to tell them what to look at most of the time, or else they feel lost. I don't know, these days people are a little bit more, I think, individual minded than they used to be when the TV was just straight up. There was only one thing to watch. You couldn't really flip through it. Yeah. This was on at 6:30 and so on and so forth. I mean, now you can flip through stuff, but it still seems like if you have a really good cover for your movie or a really good cover for your album, or, you make a lot of hype about something, even if there wasn't a lot of natural hype, you can still get people to look at what you're doing. Yeah. So I think for a record label and a band to be in a relationship together, it had to benefit both of them. I think for a band like ours, at the level we're at, I think we're fine right now. But if something came along and it was a good opportunity, I would definitely consider help, where we could get it. I mean, if you go on a big, huge tour and you need to publicize that, you're going to need a ton of more money. I mean, it's just going to be money you don't have, and if you think you can make that money back and they think they can get their money back, see, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't know of a whole lot of people. There's a few, but I don't know of a whole lot of people that put out a song and then they're just famous. Especially these days, man. It's like a sea of. There's so many people doing great stuff, and you can get pretty far. But I just don't think you're going to get as far as you can get if you have money.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a bummer that so many cool shows got canceled. I was definitely interested in seeing Coheed and Cambria, Chon, Animals as Leaders was coming through. Those would have happened by now, but unfortunately haven't due to shows being postponed. It's a major bummer.
Yeah, I feel like I'm suffering from a lot of oh darns, which is like, oh darn, I was totally gonna buy a ticket to see them. So
Darn.
Dang. But yeah, I
did
mean,
all the darn.
there was, Spirit Box and Monuments and a few people that I was like, I actually will make the effort and all that to make it out there, and yep,
Didn't happen.
not anymore.
Yep. Bring back the shows.
Epic fail moments in your live performance. Unfortunately, we have not gotten to play yet. The band really formed with me and Jared in like end of November, middle of November of 2019, and we had a couple other people who didn't work out, and we found these two fucking guys, and they worked out a lot better. So, but yeah, everything was written, recorded from like November until April, and we were planning to play a bunch of shows and make a little tour and stuff like that, but we still are going to do that. And then hopefully when someone asks us what the craziest moments are, it'll be drunken masturbation from Taylor. And
Not in public.
let's see here.
Stay safe, everyone.
Yeah.
Ever listen to podcasts?
Well, there you go.
Those
Some
slap.
heavy podcasts.
What's that heavy ass fucking podcast?
Slap, dude.
What's a slapping ass podcast you listen to, dog?
Woo, man,
Just gets you pumped.
that shit was hot.
Makes you want to get wasted and masturbate all over the place.
With my mask.
It's one hell of a podcast.
You didn't listen to the latest Cattle to Cap? Nothing.
Dude, no, I've been pretty out of touch with recent releases. I mean, aside from our own. But, yeah.
Well, I guess our CD or our latest album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's the only one he cares about.
Yeah.
Max?
This will be the last time I say anything about him, but Spirit Box has become my absolute favorite band.
I actually
now.
checked him out a second ago.
You did?
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome.
the name doesn't really tell you much about the band.
No, and they're old. Well, I wrestled a bear once. It's the guitar player and singer, and they're
Okay.
married, and they're in the band now. And I just
Are
everything
they still
about
living
them.
in the depths of Alaska?
I think they're out of there now, but I could be wrong. I don't follow them that close.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that name in a long time. I love that band.
Yeah, and they are they just crush it, and everything they're doing is just fantastic. So I've been playing everything they got.
Cool.
Nice.
Newest Infinite Annihilator album. It's pretty good.
Oh, shit.
Pretty good.
When was
Yeah.
that?
I don't know. I should look it up so it doesn't look like I don't know when it came out.
It came out like last
Yeah, it
year,
came out
I think,
last year,
actually. I mean, that's
2019.
recent enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I don't have ones for 2020 that I'm aware of yet. But yeah, that love the vocals on it. Get a lot of inspiration from what's his name? Dickie Allen. And yeah, the new Vitriol also came out last year.
Vitriol's fucking heavy, dude.
Heavy ass dudes from Portland.
Portland.
Portland or
Where
neighbors
everything's
to the
heavy as
south.
shit, dude. Yeah.
Those are good enough.
Yeah. I think the one that's really impressed me was the latest Acacia strain. They've put out these EPs that are like letters. It's supposed I don't know what it's supposed to spell so much, but one of the songs I think if anyone's watching this you should check out was Feed a Pigeon, Breed a Rat, and it's just so heavy. It's like they kind of, in my opinion, like fell off for a second from my taste. Acacia strain came out of the gates like insane heaviness and just so depressing sounding. Like it was like so negative and so like brutal, and really at that time 10 years ago, like that was my shit. I was like, okay, this is so fucking heavy. The drums were so heavy. The production was like just sounded like you were in like a dark room with like one lamp or something. It just sounded like crazy. It sounded like a horror movie or something. And then I think they just kind of beat that up a little bit, and then they got a little different. But on this last stuff, the first song I heard, it was like right back to that. So I really like that type of music, honestly. I really like anything that is going for a feeling or like a big kind of scape of sound, you know. And I also love technical stuff. I think the last really technical thing that I really, really liked was Revocations, The Outer Ones, but that's been a couple years since that was out. I think Dave Davidson is just amazing. I think his guitar playing is amazing. I love that he brought that guitar to Jackson, that body shape, the Warrior. It's like this big, evil-looking guitar that looks like, sort of looks like what Chuck Schuldiner used to play, and it really looks striking and stuff. I think he's just an awesome representative for metal in general. He's like a really cool guy, plays really, really awesome shred, and he writes really, really cool songs, and it's good that that's still popular, you know. The thing about that dude too is I can't tell how old he is. I haven't looked it up, and like I always look at him and go like, are you 50 or are you like 25? Like he just has this face and personality where it's like he has a Gorguts tattoo and he's like really into Gorguts, and I can't imagine you could be very young and be like that into Gorguts. But you know what I mean? Like maybe I don't know. I have no idea. But that's the couple that I know of.
Let's ask the whole.
The whole.
Let's ask the whole.
Preparation H.
Whole.
Feels good on the whole.
Yes.
That's an old guy joke.
That's the
I
whole
realized
plan.
that dates me pretty good. No one's going to know where that's from, probably.
Nope.
What?
I didn't hear
Austin
it.
Powers
It
reference?
is, yeah.
Oh God. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, whole plans for the future. I guess it's asking what are the band's plans for the future. Obviously, we'd like to play some shows. We want to play shows.
Oh yeah.
We're going to go play with our friends that are in the scene here, and we want to do first probably a smaller tour, and then once we get some of that, together, I'd like to try to get on some bigger tours and do some bigger stuff. I see big things for this band. I think that the music is epic enough and big enough sounding that it would do just fine on a bigger stage. I don't think there's going to be any problem with this translating to something larger than a club or larger than the Showbox or something. I really honestly feel, I've been in a few bands before, obviously, before I got to this one, and I think there was always maybe too much going on, or the audience might have been too alienated for those bands to really take off and get really big. But I think with this sound, and we're really, really new, but with the reaction of the fans that are messaging me every other day and leaving comments, that people are really into what we're doing. And the people who are becoming fans of this are, listening to it over and over and over and over again. That's a really good sign to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard the same from a few people. People who've heard it loved it and are anticipating more. So that's awesome, and reinforcing that what we're doing is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, like I was telling you, I keep forgetting people have only heard the one song.
So the one
It's only one so far. So
yeah, I don't know when this is going to be released, but I think what's the date today? 24th of May. So yeah, we will be releasing another single here shortly, like very shortly. But the album release is on June 26th, which is so funny because there was actually a comment that said like that's a fucking century away or something. Like, and I was like, well, no, it's not. They're like, I want it now. And I was like, okay, well,
I've got
that's
so
great.
much to do.
I'm so happy that you are so excited for it to come out, but I have made a deal and paid someone money, so I can't really do that.
You're like, wait, let me check. Is that? No.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that anyways. We're brand new. We are trying to get the word out about our band, and we need everybody who is into what we're doing to take a few seconds and follow it on Spotify and share it with everybody. Share everything that you like with everyone. We got a bunch of covers. Nick from Blood and Thunder did an awesome bass cover. Friend Evan from Imanon did an awesome drum cover. Dave, he did an awesome guitar cover. I know of a couple other people who contacted me that I sent tracks to that have not sent anything back to me. But I know people are doing covers of our songs because really fucking dig it, and they're stuck in their house, which I was like, hell yeah, that's cool. If anyone wants to do a cover, hit me up. I'd love to see some more covers of the songs. I love seeing that. And we love seeing ourselves tagged and stuff. We loved getting comments. I think everyone here likes that a lot. So, don't feel like you're going to embarrass us. You're not going to hurt our feelings by telling us how much you love us or love the songs or telling everyone else. So I think that's
we like
all I really
compliments.
We do. We are fucking just terribly emotionally unstable, and we need it to go on. So please help us get through our lives. And, you're solely responsible for our emotional well-being.
My feelings might get hurt.
And then you might not be able to masturbate.
The response has been awesome. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it.
This has been a ransom note.